I've always loved Wedgewood and I'm trying to get into collecting it. It just goes so well in our dining room. So I actually decided to Wedgwoodify our piano. So if you don't know what Wedgwood is, it is this pottery collection that was invented in England in the 1800s. It's best known for its iconic blue color and raised 3D elements. So we were actually gifted this piano and it was not in great condition, and it even has cigarette burn marks in the keys, which just gives it character, you know? So I started with giving the piano a good sand and a thin coat of primer. And then I took a piece of my Wedgwood collection into Benjamin Moore to see if I could find a blue paint color that was as close to it as I possibly could. Wedgwood seems to be very protective over this shade of blue because I could not find any information anywhere on precisely what color this is, but I did my best to match it. And then I went in with this chalked matte clear coat. One of the most iconic things about Wedgwood is that matte finish. So now it was time to figure out what I actually wanted to do design-wise, and I opted to go for a floral design with the raised elements kind of going up the legs and around the sides of the piano. So I purchased about 5 silicone molds and decided to use quickset epoxy resin because it sets in about 10 minutes and it actually dries white, so I didn't have to worry about painting each piece afterwards. And when each piece was cured in about 10 minutes, I just used some Gorilla Super Glue to apply to the back and then stick it on the piano with some painter's tape to hold it in place. And I didn't get a video of it, but for the legs and around the sides of the piano where it kind of needed to contour the shape, I just demolded the resin about 2 to 3 minutes early so that it was still a little flimsy and flexible so that I could mold it around each of those little crevices. I also made sure to cut the resin pieces where the piano cover comes out. I ultimately decided to leave it open most of the time because it will be being used a lot, but just in case we ever do want to close it, we have that option. So this was not necessarily the easiest or quickest project. It did take me about 2 weeks to complete, but I think that the labor was well worth it because it turned out so beautifully. This is definitely going to be an heirloom piece that will be passed down in our family. And the next project is to replace the keys and get those burn marks out of them. Let me know what you think of our Wedgwood piano.